250205, Commissioner Gillum.
To the Honorable Mark DeWitt, Chairman, and members of the Hawkins County Board of Commissioners, regular session met this 24th day of February 2025. Resolution in reference purchase of mobiles and portable radios. Whereas Hawkins County has $47,069.96 remaining to be allocated by the end of March 2025 in revenue received from the 2023 state opioid abatement payment. And whereas funds can only be spent on direct opioid abatement services and programs, and whereas local volunteer fire departments have begun first responder cardiac response programs involving dispatching a vehicle to emergency situations, with many found to be related to the abuse of opioids, and whereas a need exists for responders and vehicles to communicate with other responders, primarily Hawkins County EMS, and whereas the volunteer fire department's current radios are not DMR capable and unable to conduct such conversations, and whereas the remaining revenue would sufficiently supply mobiles and portables to departments. Now therefore be it resolved, approval is given to Hawkins County EMA to purchase radios with the remaining funds in the opioid abatement account and assign them to the Hawkins County EMS to be used by first responder cardiac response programs within volunteer fire departments. And therefore be it further resolved, approval be given for the following budget amendment to the general fund. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
All right, we've got a motion, Commissioner Gillum, second, Commissioner Columbus. Questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, do we know about how many radios we're intending to purchase with the 47,000?
Jamie Miller knows that. He's the EMA director. Unfortunately, with all that's going on in the county tonight, he's not here. But we're going to make best use of that to get them to the programs that are having the first responder cardiac response program so they can talk to EMS.
Okay. And a member of our group was recalling that within the past, like 18 months or so, that there had been a separate resolution concerning like purchasing radios or maybe antennas. Is this like similar equipment or different?
Same type of radio. It's a digital mobile radio that these first responders can talk to EMS and central dispatch with.
Okay, so that we were just needing more, like increase the quantity.
Yeah, and we'll still need more for the fire departments. We're going to work on that next. We've got some money set aside for that, and all the rest of the folks in the fire department that we determine that need those will get those shortly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Commissioner Britton.
Yeah, she covered some of the same things that I did, but is that going to be in addition to the 11 that we discussed?
Yes.
11 radios that we discussed in the public safety?
Yes. Those were already on hand and we're just redistributing those.
Right. And is any of this money here going to be used for the professional installation that the fire departments were going to pay for?
Yes. Robin, you're shaking your head.
No, we talked in the public safety that they would be responsible for installation from Jamie's list that he provides.
Okay.
And,
I stand corrected.
yeah, sorry, Chad, you go ahead.
And I think before just looking down the road with the governor and everybody putting EMS on package before we spend an exorbitant amount of money on more radios beyond this, that we need to touch base with somebody in Nashville and see if Tacking is going to be.
If Jamie has, and Tacking is on the way, we're going to need at least one extra antenna site to deploy it here in Hawkins County. I know Jason can tell you that all of his trucks have Tacking radios in them now.
Yes.
And ready to go. So
That's all I've got.
okay. Commissioner Palmer.
Okay, so to clarify some of this, there's 5 cardiac response units right now. So you got Rogersville, Bulls Gap, Carters Valley, Stanley Valley, and Queens Valley. So it's 4 plus 1. Queens Valley is in the process of finishing up the requirement to be the first response. The issue that they're having right now is they can't communicate with EMS, and they want to be able to communicate with EMS in case if they're on scene and a patient deteriorates, that way they can let EMS know instead of going through 911 either A, not getting a call or delay getting it back to EMS. The ideal behind this was whatever, taking this 47,000 off of the overall radio project. So, and if I remember correctly, Jamie told, we discussed in public safety that they would be responsible for their install. If we get the record, and they would provide an ordinance. Oh, that's clear.
Well, I didn't know if this money would change that.
Yeah, it would reduce the overall amount, so I think it came down to like 320 something, 330, it was in that range.
That it, Commissioner Palmer?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Young?
On the TACTIN stuff that you were talking about, Mayor, so when you say it's coming, like, do we have any idea of a timeline, or is it just somewhere out in the future?
Somewhere out in the future, it's, anybody from EMS have any idea about how long?
For EMS to swap the tanker, it really boils down to the sites and us obtaining the frequencies that we would have to have in county, is my understanding of this.
Correct.
A site, you're probably looking, if it was decided today, probably at least a year if they had a site right now.
Yeah.
I guess my concern was, or not concern, was if that's on the way, does that need to change anything that we're doing with radios currently? Or do we need to stay with the plan as it is?
That's up to the Public Service, Public Safety Committee, with no timeline to put tacking in place and no money for us to build a tower right now. It could be several years, and I don't want people that are being treated by the first responders to not be able to get complete treatment because they don't have a radio.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And that money does, we basically lose the money by the end of it if we don't allocate it.
Yeah, correct. It's money that we'll lose if we don't use it. Anybody else? Let's go ahead and vote, please.
Twelve yes, 2 absent.
All right, resolution passed.